I'm doing great. Man, it is great to hear your voice. We missed you.
Oh, I miss everyone
How have you
too.
been? What's been going on? How are things going?
Great. I finally launched the money healing course. It's on Udemy. So I'm super excited about that. So yeah, just I finally got it out and starting to do some, advertising promotions and just trying to get the word out there that how we think and feel and believe about money affects our money reality. So it's not about the education. It's not about if you was born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Nothing like that. So I'm super excited.
So tell us a little bit about the money healing program and a few other things that you're doing besides that.
So money is nothing but energy. Having an understanding how energy works can also help someone understand the relationship they have with money. And basically, how you think about money, how you feel about money, especially when it's going back to your childhood. So we do go back and reminisce on what our parents believe, or it can go back to the environment of the people that you grew up with. What was their money stories? And we tend to pick those stories up as our beliefs. So in the courses, it's teaching how to release those beliefs that no longer serve your purpose, even identify where some of those money blockages are located in your body, because when you're struggling financially, you're going to feel it. So we locate the blockage, we release it, and then we reprogram it to a whole new money reality. And when I talk about abundance, when you talk about billions and millions of dollars, it's having what you need to not only just survive, but for you to enjoy life. That's abundance. So yeah.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. And just the idea of having everything you need is
I
abundant.
know. Yes. You're not stressing over your bills. There's a lot of people who have insomnia, who has anxieties or depression based around, some type of financial obligation that might be overwhelming. And the thing is, once we start the stress and the anxieties and the depression, getting angry and mad, having road rage, that affects our flow of money. If we learn how to raise our vibration, which is to heal from the money beliefs, to heal from your self-worth, because that's a lot of your money comes from your self-worth. If you're confident and you deserve the best, you will get exactly what you want. But if you have some insecurities, if you have doubts and say, I'm not good enough, then you won't get exactly what you want. You won't get that high paying job. It'll be difficult for your business to get off the ground. So that's the first course of my series. The next one is actually, starting your side hustle, making money. But you have to gotta release those negative and those harmful money beliefs before you move on.
And before you get into the subject matter, just give us a couple of steps on how we begin to release those blocks that may be in our bodies, in our minds, and
Hmm.
what have. How do we begin that process?
Good question. Udemy, Udemy.com/money and the hyphen and healing.
All right,
Yep.
thank you.
You're welcome.
So Nan, let's move right along and talk about what is an empath.
Yeah. So did you ever get a chance to check that out and find out what an empath is?
I did. I
Okay.
was talking a little bit about it before you came on. What it
Okay.
is, yeah.
Okay, cool. Because this is a really good topic because I hear this a lot, especially if when I talk to my girls or meet other, women, even men, because they don't want to come out and say they're empath. But a lot of people are very, very sensitive to energy.
Yeah.
So an empath is just someone who just easily absorbs energy. That could be emotions, that even can be physical symptoms of other people into their body.
Right.
So it's an empath is like an emotional sponge. You know, it is. It's emotional sponge. You know, they say they can understand, they can feel others, what other people are experiencing, and it's not just limited to people, but also to animals, to nature, and other elements of the universe.
Yeah, correct. That's right. That's why they say
Yeah,
dogs are really good to have as as
yeah,
pets.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So when I
It
looked up the empath, the meaning of it, I got this. An empath is someone who is highly aware of the emotions of those around them to the point of feeling those emotions themselves.
yes,
Mhm. Empaths see the world differently than other people. They are keenly aware of others and
hmm,
their pains and points and what they need emotionally.
yes. So I think empaths has a more of an intuitive experience, and they're supposed to go through that because it's going to contribute to their healing themselves. It's going to contribute to healing others.
Right. You don't think it's an allowance? Like some people, have that great ability to block, and they're very good at blocking things from emotions from coming in, and feelings coming in from the outside.
There's nothing wrong with blocking, protecting, because we're going to get into that in the show. But when you desensitize, there's a difference. And some people don't even have just empathy. And that's part of nature's characteristic to have empathy. I'm not saying being an empath is the best thing because it could be a curse.
Because that's what I was discussing. I was saying that I think all of us have a bit of it in us, and
Yes.
some more than others, and some are gifted and talented and use it in special ways, and others use it in other ways.
On a neurological perspective, scientists had just discovered that, there's a set of neurons in our brain known as mirror neurons. So think about, I remember when I was younger, when I was pregnant, I used to work at a daycare. And I used to work in the infants and the toddlers room. Now, when one infant is crying, it would set a whole wave of infants and toddlers crying. And the reason for that is the mirror neurons allow us to unconsciously mirror or mimic the emotional expression of others. And what happened is it activates the same somatic response in our brain. When one child is crying, the other one, they all light up in the same exact area in their brain. So that means the response is going to be the same. This is everyone. This is not just empath. So if everyone has that ability, then there are some, like you said, it's some that's more receptive and prone to it, while other might be desensitized.
Right. So in saying that, it's important that who we spend time with, since we're empathetic beings, that person that we're spending a lot of time with, it's important, because if we're going to
Yes.
be emotionalizing with that person, and connecting
Yes.
with that person, it's
Yes.
important that
Yes.
we spend time with a quality person.
And that's why you have to be careful about where you spend your energy and time with.
Absolutely.
But we'll get into that. All right, we'll eventually get into that. But
All right. So, what are the signs? Oh, yeah. I guess you've mentioned some signs of the empath.
there's so many signs out there, and there's only so much we can talk about. One thing about empath, they
Yeah.
are natural healers. So they have the
Oh.
power to use their voice and their hands, even hugs, for healing. People come up to them for advice when they're down, or they can't figure stuff out. You're like the go-to person. You're like the therapist. You're like the counselor. People would say to an empath, like, "Oh my God, like you understand me, like you. It's like
You
you knew
get
me
it.
all my life."
Right. You get it.
Yes, because of feeling and understanding, you would technically actually walk it in that person's shoes.
Right.
Either we've been through that in the past, or we know what they're going through just by feeling it. Another sign is very imaginative and creative, because these are beautiful gifts. When you're creative and you're imaginative, it makes you a great manifester, right? Because we talked about manifestation. So it takes your thoughts visualizing, imagination, and it also takes feeling and emotion.
Right.
Empath, they realize that they can think of something, they can feel something. They might be thinking of something and feeling, someone else, and then that person might call.
That's interesting that you should say that. Yes, when you think of a
Yeah,
person.
still have to learn to filter because we pick up energy. That means we might pick up negative energy, and that's where the manifestation might delay because of a influx of emotions. The other one is heightened senses, very intuitive.
Yes.
Intuitive, sixth sense, they are the walking lie detector. You cannot lie to these people. You can't. Like, they will read
Absolutely.
people behind their mask. And some people, it's like, oh, that person's so emotional. In order for someone to feel the truth, someone would say something and you'd be like, oh my God, you are such a damn liar. So
Right.
that
You
is
can
one
see.
of the signs. Yeah,
Right.
like being
You
even
can see through the
clairvoyant,
mask. Right.
clear knowing. You get information. You sitting there, you're talking to, someone who's in need or going through healing, and then like things just pops up, and you ask them questions, and they was like, "Wait a minute, how do you know?" And he was like, I don't know. I just felt it."
So, do you have any more on your list?
Let's say another one could be you could tend to be an introvert. And that's due
Oh,
to the sensitivity and the receptivity of energy around you. So some empaths try to avoid crowds of people because it can be overwhelming, it could be
yes.
exhausting, and usually they like to introvert to come into their own space, and they need to do that to rejuvenate and for them to balance and say, okay, this is not my emotion, this is my emotions. Or you might be fine until you get in the car and go to the grocery store, and then you come out and next thing you know you have a headache or you're
Right.
still grumpy and you're just like, what the heck just happened?
You know what? That's why I think the experts also say that how important it is to remain hydrated because when your
Yes,
body, yes, a lot of water,
yes, because
80
water,
ounces a day,
it's
at least 80 ounces a day.
yes, if our body is made up of almost 75, 70% of water, and emotions is nothing but energy. So if you're taking in so much energy, you can deplete your biofield. And that's where, like you mentioned, water is so important for to rejuvenate and to strengthen our aura or electromagnetic field. So yes, like we can go days without food, but we can't with water.
So now I have a couple of things here.
Mm-hmm.
Like earlier in the show, I was talking about B and I was talking about time, how time is a man-made concept. And
Mm-hmm.
how the only time that exists is now because the past is gone and the future has yet to come. So what I was telling my listeners, be like a lot of times a person doesn't feel like they're wealthy, they don't feel like they're healthy. But what I say on a regular basis, and this is why they'll probably say, "Oh, he plays I am affirmation so many times," and I play that so that you could think that now, so in the future, the person can become that be, and then
Mm-hmm.
you be and then come. That's two words: be and then it will come.
Yes, exactly. And
So
that's what, there's people that, I mean, out there that can actually learn from empath. It's not like empaths are just overly emotional. They learn how to become whatever they feel. That is so important.
that
We talked
is
about
powerful.
manifestation so many times
Yes,
on this show.
yes.
You got to be exactly what you want to be, and then you'll become.
So being okay doesn't work without the emotion, right? Being
No.
wrapped up in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when an empath or a person per se gets off track and they get entangled emotionally with whatever, something negative or whatever, What strategies do you suggest, and then I can chime in on that. What strategies do you suggest to get back on the person's path of manifesting the desires of their heart and life?
Great question. The first one is, of course, remove yourself from the negative energy. Is whether your environment, be cautious of what you're watching on TV, what you're listening to, the people around you. Now, understand when you're in a crowd of people, you can't really control that. But if you got a bestie or you're in an intimate relationship with someone, and they seem to be the taker, because empaths naturally gives. So that means other people are going to take advantage of them. When you give, people are going to take advantage. They are prone to meeting those people who are energy vampires, narcissists, codependent. So just removing yourself from that energy. And there's a couple of ways you can do that. Like, first, clean your house from clutter. If your house has clutter, clear it out.
You're talking about the physical house?
Yes, your environment,
okay.
where you sleep, where you eat, and where you use the bathroom. You keep the house dark, it's going to affect your emotions and your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So cleaning the house, keep it nice, keep it fresh. Open up those windows. That sun, let that vitamin D come in.
Yes, that sunlight, right.
Especially when people come to your house and you have guests. Once someone is in a physical room and they leave, there's residue that still leaves behind.
Right.
It doesn't go away. So, just cleaning it. You can burn sage. You can use crystals.
Yes,
you can
sage.
Just visualize.
Sage, I heard, is very good.
Yeah.
Aren't there stones too? Since you're trained in crystals too, aren't there stones that help with that?
Yes. So usually the black stones are the best stones to help remove negative energy or to repel or absorb that negative energy instead of you.
Well,
just about all black stones.
Just about. Oh, okay.
It's your black tourmaline, black obsidian, hematite, which is more of that silver type color. The darker stones are your protector.
Okay.
Even wear it on you, like little,
right?
The little tumbler stones.
Yeah, I've heard jewelry made out of it. Any particular places where, like if a person goes to Amazon, or there are places not to purchase these things, and places that are preferable?
Well, you always want to do your research of wherever you buy your crystals from. Most of my crystals, I actually buy it in store, and they're reputable crystals and metaphysics stores. But you can kind of feel the vibe, whatever stone that resonates to you.
Okay.
Self-healing and self-care. As an empath, we have to tune into ourselves. So meditation is awesome for empath.
I'm saying that because I always mention meditation on my shows, the importance of it.
That's like the number one, especially guided meditation. With guided meditation, that kind of helps people, guide them through the meditation instead of trying to be quiet or try to stop all the chatter in the mind. Some people can't do that. It's difficult for a lot of people. So guided meditation is also great. Exercise.
Yes.
Exercise. Being active, being out in nature. That is my number one thing. I do that every single day. I'm outside every day.
Same here, every day.
Yep. So going out to nature, the ground, because remember, if you're an empath, that means you can absorb the earth's energy. And that is so rejuvenating. Oh, talk about hugging trees. Just walk outside barefooted and just sit, not even sit, but just stand and just be of silence. Do the standing meditation. And I promise you, you will feel and notice a difference. Being expressive. So writing, painting, drawing, just using your hands for creative expression helps release any type of energy that's not yours. Because what you're doing, you're actually expressing what truly is yours, and anything that doesn't seem right or something that not in alignment will go.
Wow.
What are some of the protection strategies you have?
Meditation, eating, the diet, number one for me. Water.
Most important. Yes.
Water and a lot of plant-based things like including in your diet, like fruits and vegetables, like cucumbers, blueberries, orange, lemon, pear, greens, collard greens, kale.
Yeah.
If you can
Spinach.
eat
I love
nuts,
spinach.
spinach, right, and a nice balance, a nice mix of fruits and vegetables, strawberries,
Yeah.
yeah, and not fruits that are really really sweet because you don't want too much sugar. You want to keep their body balanced when it comes to everything that it needs, all the nutrients that it needs.
Yeah. And the sugar level too. But the sugar from fruit is way different than,
Exactly. Than
the sugar
sugar.
from sweets and stuff like that. I mean,
Right.
you still want to balance, like eating more fruit in the morning versus at night.
Right.
As an empath, you pick up some people's emotion. They tend to be emotional eaters. Yeah,
Okay.
so they will indulge in, the cookies, the sweets, but not only just that, but also they're prone to having some type of substance abuse
Mm,
because it gets so intense.
because
So
it's the
yes, the
emotional
eating,
emotional level.
sometimes empath want to be numb, just too much.
Right.
Yeah. And oh, one last thing, believe others when they tell you who they truly are. One thing about empath is we sit up there and we're just like, oh, I give people the benefit of the doubt. I see the true potentiality. They can go this way, they can go this far. Empaths sometimes can ignore signs of someone being toxic because they
Right.
want to help the world. They want to save everyone.
They want to forgive.
Yes. If someone comes out and tell you who they truly are, you got to believe them.
That's right.
You
That was
know?
a quote that I heard a long time ago. If someone tells you who they are, believe them.
Yeah.
Nan Ross, thank you very much for showing
You
up
are
on the
so
Basis Show
welcome. I
again.
appreciate it. Have me back on the show.
It's my pleasure, and I'm sure my listeners enjoy you as well.
Thank you, everyone.